Welcome everyone to the top 32 of the second round of Drift King of RTRiga 2024 DKRTR. We're back once again. My mic has sorted itself out. My internet has sorted itself out. We are ready to see some battles. We hope we have all had a good weekend so far. On the start of the week, it's a Monday today? Yes, it is. So we had some issues with my internet, so now we do have commentary for this round for top 32. And as you can see, our drivers are getting ready, getting some runs in, getting ready to get some battles in, but it looks like we have just sent them to pit. We are also going live on the Frontside Racing TikTok, so if you want to get involved and you want to see what we do on there, go and check that out. You can see my lovely face while I commentate. But it's going to be a very, very cool set of battles we got coming up. We got a lot of interesting battles, that's for sure. As it looks like we have our first battle coming up. Look at that. So we have Christopher Thomas versus Alex Lasmanes. So not quite as good, but we do have a Lasmanes on the grid representing Latvia and the United States. So let's get ready to send these boys down as we send them in to the first battle of the second round, as they initiate now into outside zone 1. Doing a very good job so far in the lead. Christopher definitely struggling a bit there in the chase, not having as much proximity as he could, but seems to get onto the door somewhat, kind of playing it safe in the chase a bit, making sure he doesn't make any mistakes, trying to see what Alex will do in the lead, as he does a very nice lead so far. And it's been a very good qualifying yesterday, so as you can see here, doing a very good job from both drivers, just not getting too aggressive in that first chase. So potentially could penalise or could potentially punish Christopher for that. But as we flip them around now, we have Christopher in the lead, Alex in the chase. As the lights go green, we send them down the straight, going in towards outside zone 1. Alex flicks it in behind Christopher there, doing a much nicer job there in the chase, getting a lot more proximity, making sure he is there, as Christopher does a nice job in the lead so far. Nothing too crazy from these two so far. I mean, Christopher's doing a much nicer line than he did in his chase, but obviously Alex is there on the door after putting down a good lead, so this could go either way depending on how they look at that last section. But I'm just a commentator, I'm not a judge, so we'll have to see how this goes. But good driving from both. Definitely an interesting first battle, and we already have one going to Alex Lasmanes, as, to be honest, I'm not surprised. So we're just waiting on our two other judges there to give us the results on what they thought was the main result of that first battle, and it is a unanimous decision there going to Alex Lasmanes. So very well done there. Unfortunately, Christopher just couldn't give enough in the chase, but hopefully we'll see him around for the next round of DKRTR in round 3. Definitely not the easiest track to be not the easiest track to be leading and chasing on, as it is a very tight layout, to say the least. So you have to really make sure you're on it from the get-go. If you fall behind in one bit, there's a lot of chances you can catch up, but a lot of chances you can't.
All right, Brendan, we had technical issue. We're gonna take a 5-second break to sort out the cameras. So we'll be back in 30-60 seconds. I'm really sorry for this.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. So apologies for that. We did have some technical difficulties with the track cameras. As you can see, we're back into it now, and hopefully we can get our second battle up, which will be Elgers versus Mattis. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see some of the last qualifying runs. So Moiskid himself, love you, bro. Let's see how he does, as he will be leading in Mattis to begin. So 2 BMWs, 1 new, 1 old. As you can see there, Drift Chat, our lovely semaphore, sending our guys in down the straight now, getting ready to flick into outside zone 1. Elga's doing a nice job keeping it smooth as Mattis puts it right onto the door, almost going wheel to wheel, doing a very nice job so far as they transition through into those inside splits. Coming into that second outside zone, doing a very smooth job. Elga's getting right onto that outside line where he needs to be, kind of getting pulling out a bit early, but doing a very, very smooth job so far as my phone falls over so I can't see the YouTube comments. But as we continue the battle, doing a very clean chase there from Mattis, and across the line, a very, very smooth battle so far. So we'll have to see how Elgas responds to that chase. So as we flip them around now, we will be getting ready to send them back for the last half of this battle. So it is Moiskids versus Mattis. Is it moist now? I'm never going to get used to saying that word, seriously. As they go through outside zone 1, doing a very nice job so far. Mattis doing a very close inside line there. As, ooh, unfortunately, Elga's having a bit of issues there, trying to get into that proximity, but as they come around now, transitioning into that inside clip, not doing a very powerful chase, unfortunately. It just didn't have the same effect, not the cleanliness, so it could go very heavily leaning towards Mattis there. So unfortunately, this might be the end of Moiskid's weekend. But either way, he did a very good job, and 2 very talented drivers there, and 2 very similar cars, but very different feeling cars, as they stare each other down like it's a boxing match. As we have our result coming up here with our judges. So will it go left for Elgas or right for Mattis? And we want to see predictions for the top 3 in the comments, both on the TikTok and YouTube. Who do you think is going to take the second round of DKRTR 2024? I've definitely got some of my favourites, and I know who I have a prediction for. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to give the commentators curse. So left for Elgas. Right for Mattis. As you can see, our judges deliberating there. Could it have been that Mattis checked up in that inside clip area, which meant Elgas had to kind of pull out? Or was it just a case of he did not quite have the right dive and just had to try and catch up with himself? As they check through our replay cameras, I may not be hungover this time, but I'm definitely still not in the best shape. English is still not my forte, apparently. Oh, and we have 1 front OMT, so that's definitely an interesting result there. And it is going to be a 1 more time between these 2 drivers. So the BMWs will be getting ready to be reset with the brand new tyres. And 1 did go to Mattis, so it wasn't a unanimous decision. But nevertheless, we're going to get them with fresh tyres, get them back onto the track, and then resend them. So as we see here, they're coming back up onto the line there. And if you haven't, go and check out Moist Skids on TikTok. He does some really cool content, so definitely go and check out what he makes. As the lights go green, Elga's leading in Mattis there once again for the second time as they initiate now into outside zone 1. Doing a very good job in the lead so far, but Mattis is still on the toe of that Moist Skids E46 with that HGK kit. Doing a very smooth job between the 2 of them as Mattis puts it wheel to wheel, doing a very nice job so far. Coming around into that last transition now, going into that inside clip. Look at that proximity from Mattis there, doing an insane job, keeping it nice and clean as they come across the line. Very nice job from Mattis, and well done to Elgas for doing that lead. So as we switch them around now, we will be getting ready to see whether Elgas can keep it up and not make the same mistake as he did last time as the lights go green. Here we go as they now initiate and flick it in. Big angle there from Moiskids as they come around into that outside zone 1. Again, much nicer proximity here from Elgas, doing a very nice job as Mattis does a nice, solid, smooth lead line. Doing a very nice job, not repeating the same mistake from the previous run, as they now transition into that last outs in the clip into outside zone. Is it 7? I can't remember. Oh, look at that proximity though from Moist Kids, doing an incredible job. Definitely not repeating the same mistakes from the previous battle. So very nice work from both drivers there. So we'll have to see what our judges say about that one. Could go in favour of Moist, could go in favour of Mattis. So we'll have to see. Do love that livery though. Look at them. Beautiful cars. So we wait on our judges to get a decision in, and they seem to have one for Mattis. The other two just are waiting on. And it's going to Mattis. So very nice work there. Elgar's just not having quite enough to get into the top 16, but he did a very good job compared to the first battle. So very nice job from both drivers. Unfortunately, Moist Kids just getting knocked out in the top 32 there. Down to an OMT, so I'd say it's a win in his book. He definitely put some effort in. So we will see him next round, but Mattis is going through to the top 16. As we can see here, I can see a very familiar looking car down there on the start line, as we have Darius Ostraker in that A90 Supra getting ready for his battle, and I can't see his battle partner. Ah, there he is. So we have James. So we have Darius Ostraker, Team Urta versus Carbon Drift Team. Darius Ostraker versus James Estrella, as Darius leads him in to start. So A90 for Supra versus S15, as they now initiate into that first outside zone. Doing a very solid job so far. Darius just doing what he needs to do, showing that he's always very pinpoint and precise with his lead lines. James getting a bit caught up there in those inner clips, but managing to keep it going, as he's got a bit of catching up to do. Darius doing a very nice job, kind of almost leaving him in the dust there. Getting caught in the smoke as Darius goes through that last outside zone. James kind of just struggling to keep up with that A90. So as they switch around, we'll have to see how this goes. Darius knows that he's going to have the advantage going into this second half of the battle. But will he take advantage of that, or will he push it too hard? We have UK versus US. This is definitely going to be an interesting second half. So, as we wait now on the semaphore with Drift Chat, piloting that absolute weapon of a semaphore there. As the lights go green. James now leading in Darius. Coming down that straight, flicking it in, doing a nice big angle there, kind of shallowing up, but keeping it nice and golden as he comes round into those inner clips, transitioning now. Darius not getting too crazy, but making sure he makes his presence known as they come through that second outside zone, doing a very nice job so far. Now into that last transition, coming into that inner clip. Darius just really, oh, but James just catching the wall there. And unfortunately, that will dock his lead line and his score for his lead, but definitely an interesting battle to say the least. Darius just didn't want to go too crazy. He knew he had the advantage from his lead, and it does look like it will be a clear decision, which is Darius Ostraker going into the top 32 with a unanimous decision. So nice work from James Estrella there, just unfortunately not being able to keep up with Darius in that lead. So we will see him next round. So unfortunately that is CDT being knocked out. I wonder if Omer's here in the comments. If you are, hello. As we have our third battle coming up now. Otherwise, I almost said second. As we have Jan in the chase with Jakov in the lead, and it looks like it is going to be a buy run potentially. As Jakov. Oh no, is it Jan? Is it Jan in the lead? It does look like it is Jan. So, looks like Jan is getting a buy run. So Jakov just looks like he, unfortunately, doesn't seem to have been able to make it. So, unfortunately, that's going to be his weekend over. And we will have to see. I'm not too sure what is going on, but I need to get the sheets up. But as you can see there, yep, so it is going to be Jan moving ahead to that top 16. Unfortunately, Jakov doing well into the qualifying, but yeah, pretty good. That was amazing proximity from Jan to that wall. I think Jan won. It was a clear-cut choice of Jan versus Jan, fighting his own demons in that Byron. So we are back, and we're gonna get our next battle ready now, which is Daniel versus, and I just missed it on my own stream. It's gonna make me sad, but we do have Daniel versus Virgil. As I can see here, I just went back onto the YouTube stream. Happy days. So far, getting some really interesting battles. So we are in our fourth battle now of the top 32. As you can see, our drivers are once again back on track, getting some practice runs in. As we have Night Venom in the chat, one of our gracious sponsors of the series. So we thank you for everything, and to all of our other sponsors to make this a possibility to provide to the championship and our drivers and the viewers all in one. So we are just waiting on our second driver to come out there. So Daniel and Virgil. And they're now both at the line, with Daniel in the lead, Virgil to chase. So you got E92 versus R35. So this is going to be a very interesting one, as Virgil puts it onto the door of that R35 from the very start as they initiate and go through into outside zone 1, coming through into those inner clips now. Virgil making a very good job of that proximity so far, with that R35 putting an absolute belter of a lead line on. Very big car, so it's pretty hard to maneuver around on this track. But as they come through now into that last section, into that last outside zone, they do a very nice job with that E92 right on the door, wheel to wheel. A very nice chase and a very nice lead from both of these drivers so far. Battles have been pretty clean as of right now. Ooh, where's that R35 gone? There it is. So, we now have Daniel to chase and Virgil to lead as they now go down the straight. Nice big flick there, as that R35 once again almost repeats what that E92 did in the first half of the battle, as they're both keeping it really clean. Very nice transition there from both of those drivers as they come around that second outside zone, doing a very good job in that R35. Nailed into the last transition, doing a very solid job from both of these. Maybe a bit of a waiver there from the R35, but doing a very solid job in the lead. So we'll have to see what our judges say about that one, shan't we? Virgil doing a solid lead. Daniel just checking up there on the angle into that last outside zone, so we'll have to see what the judges deem that, as that could be a mistake on his own end. And it looks like we have one for Virgil. Just waiting on the other two now. Just on the other two judges. Obviously, it looks like potentially that checkup in the chase from the R35 definitely could have made a bit of a Moist Kids Top 69 gang represent. Yep. Only you, lad. Only you. I just realised, did we get the predictions correct for the drop zone? That is the question, because I couldn't make it for the rest of it, sadly. Because I need to know whether I owe you another monster or not. Judges definitely taking their time to make sure that they make the right decision here, as this will be putting one of these drivers into the top 16. And it looks like it is going to Daniel. So unfortunately, Virgil just not being able to get the win there. But English, I can't do it. Daniel will be going into the top 16. So unfortunately, Virgil's weekend has finished there. But a very nice effort from both of these drivers. That was a good battle. Very good battle. So now we have Evo versus S15 with Vova to lead in that Evo 10 and Frederick in that S15 to chase. Two very cool cars. Two very different cars as well, as Vova now comes through the start chicane, initiating into that outside zone now with just a bit of a check up there, not being able to get up, but they make a nice dive there. It's Frederick. He tries to keep up with a very close transition there, bumper to bumper. Just hitting the wall there. Very scatty run from Frederick, unfortunately, but Vova doing a very nice job in the lead, keeping it nice and clean as they go towards the end of that last outside zone across the line. So that's going to be an interesting one to see how the judges judge on that one. Judges judging, I would never know. So now we have Frederick to lead, Vova in the chase. Lights go green, and we will be sending them down the straight there as they initiate into outside zone 1. So far so good, as Vova puts it towards the door of Frederick there in that S15 as they now transition through, getting a bit too close to that inner clip there, potentially just cutting the inner clip as they come through outside zone 2. I'm having a couple of issues with my internet once again, but nothing too major as they come round into the last section. Vova doing a very nice chase so far. Frederick putting on a solid lead as well as they come across the line. And wow, very clean battle so far. Gotta say, they're doing a very good job. So would it be left for Vova or right for Frederick? And it is going to be going to Vova there. So of course, with Frederick's chase, just a bit scatty, and having obviously made contact with the wall did put him in the disadvantage, which means Vova in that R35, it's not an R35, it was a Evo 10, is going to the top 16, so we will see him for the rest of tonight. But unfortunately, Frederick's weekend has just finished there, just like the rest so far. But now we are on to our 6th battle, I think. I can't keep up with myself today. It's been crazy. As you can see there, coming through the tunnel like a WWE wrestler, getting their entrance in, and we have an E92 there onto the track in that nice DKRTR24 livery provided by the series sponsors. And an E40, so it's another all BMW battle here with Romain to lead in Kevin. So we got a French man versus a German man. So this is going to be an interesting battle as they sit on the line. As the lights go green, we are sending them down with that E46 HGK kit car to lead in that E92 as they flick into outside zone 1 now with a lot of angle there from that E46, doing a very solid job as they come around into the inner clips, transitioning out into that second inside clip. So far, very clean, very smooth, and just falling a bit behind there from that E92. But as they come around into the center of the track, they do a very solid job of keeping it together. Ooh, I'm having a couple of little stutters there, but we keep it going. Coming into that last outside zone now, doing a very nice job as they come across the line. Very, very solid work there. And Kian really in the TikTok stream saying she's no A80 with the Genesis front end and Mustang engine. Well, I mean, to be fair, you're not wrong, but they are very clean cars nevertheless as they get going, switched around with Kevin to lead now, Romain into chase. With a bit of a scatty initiation there from Romain. Just a bit of a waver as he got onto angle, but they keep it nice and smooth, continuing in through those inner clips. I am having some definite issues here as I can't see what's going on with the stream a bit. But, there we go. So, damn. My computer's struggling as they come into that last outside zone, doing a very, very solid job. So, hopefully, the judges will be able to make a quick and smooth decision. I'm just going to have a quick little look on the YouTube stream, reverse back on that, and see what happened. But it will be left for Romain, or right for Kevin. So will it be the French, or will it be the German that goes through? Only time will tell, as we should be getting a decision in anytime soon. Very nice work from both of these drivers though. Very, very nice work. Hope everyone is doing alright, had a good weekend. It is now Monday, so we hope the blues have not hit you. I ain't no Garfield, but I definitely ain't the biggest fan of Mondays. But as we just wait for our decisions, let's get a prediction of what the top 3 could be in the chat. And I want to see, right, both on the TikTok and the YouTube, I want to see emojis being spammed. I want to see something. I don't know. Car emojis. I don't know. Something. Let's just get it popping. This is a party. This is the second round of DKRTR. We're having a good time. And we're still waiting on the decision there between Romain and Kevin, so the judges are definitely taking their time to make sure that they don't make a wrong call here, as there was a few moments in that battle where there was a couple of scatty moments. Bit of sketchy angle, but you never know. Once again, I'm not a judge. I'm just a commentator, and a tired commentator at that. Who do we think is going to get the win for that battle? And it's one for one more time, one for Kevin, so it's that last judge now that is going to, and it is going to be a one more time, so there was not enough that the judges think that it could go either way. So we will be rerunning these boys, so we're going to be sending them back to pits, get brand new tyres on, get them back to the start line and get this battle back underway. As you can see there, they're just, I don't know what's going on over there. Does he not want to change his tyres? As that E92 comes back through that start gate, getting ready for his second part of the battle. Second one more time of the round so far, so drivers aren't making it easy for the judges so far. I think we're gonna have to have a so far counter on the stream. See how many times I say it. So we have Romain leading in Kevin once again for the second time of round 2. Will this be the decider between the last battle, or would it go to another one more time? Well, only time will tell as they go through outside zone 1, doing a very nice job in it, but just catching the wall, tapping it, bonking it, moonwalking back. So that will be a massive advantage to the lead here as they come through the second outside zone, coming across into the center of the track, transitioning now into the final section. So that is very unfortunate there for Kevin. Oh, but just getting a bit too aggressive as they come round into that across the line. That is very unfortunate there for that E92. But this is drifting. Never always certain. So yes, this is going to be the evening of one more times moist. It definitely is. As we have them back on the start line now, as the lights go green, we have Kevin chasing in Romain as they initiate onto outside zone 1, doing a very nice job so far from this E46. He does not need to get too crazy as he did make mistakes in the last runs, so he has got the advantage as they come round into that second outside zone, doing a very nice job from both sides as the lead comes round into that last transition. The E46 making sure he doesn't get too aggressive and ooh, just maybe nearly making contact there as they come through the last outside zone and across the line. Definitely a bit of scariness in that battle, but I believe that it's going to be a very... I believe Romain did the right thing there, as he probably knew Kevin made mistakes, which gave him the advantage, so he didn't want to get too crazy, too aggressive, as that could have cost him his battle. As you can see there, two very nice looking cars, as we await on the judge's decision once again. Definitely an interesting battle to watch. So, will it be left for Romain or right for Kevin Schwarz? French versus Germany. Who's going to take the top spot and go into the top 16 of round 2? That is the question. Hope everyone's been good. Both on the TikTok and the YouTube stream. 2 different accounts. So we can get the most coverage on this. So, Spragsy, we do have registration and sign-ups before the rounds, but so if you go onto the Racing Team Riga Discord, you can find all of the details through there, and sign-up links are going to be through there as well. So if you want to get involved, now is the time, as round 3 is going to be definitely an interesting one. Once again, just another shout out to all of our sponsors of this series, making sure that we can get the most enjoyment out of drifting as we can, as they do a lot for the community. So make sure you do them a good service by going and checking them out, potentially even using their services. Give back to them while they give back to us. As you can see on the stream overlay, we do have all of their logos, including on the tracks and the cars. So, can't miss them. As we still await, and it goes to Kevin Schwarz, so the German taking down the French. I could make a terrible pun there, but I am not going to. Very nice work there from Kevin, and it was not a unanimous decision, so it was going to potentially be a one more time, according to one of our judges. So Kevin moving up to the top 16, while Romain unfortunately has to have his weekend stopped there. Hopefully he can come back bigger and stronger for the next round, as we have our next pair of cars, which are 2 S15s. With Andreas Kleinburg and Georgius. Hey, and Boyce is now on the TikTok stream. Big up. Hello. So, as we await the lights to go green, we have 2 S15s on the grid here, ready to go. As they go down the straight now, flicking it into that initiation with a big angle there from Andres. Doing a very nice job in the lead so far, but George is putting on a nice chase there, making sure he doesn't get too crazy. Almost tapping the inside wall there, getting a bit too aggressive, coming a bit too shallow, but as Kleinburg comes through that middle section of the track, and as they get into the last outside zone, maybe just tapping the wall a bit too much there. Going across the line, that is a bit of a messy run between the two of them, but it might equalise itself. So Georgius now leading in Andreas Kleinburg. With them waiting for the lights to go green as it now counts down. Drift Chat sending them down the straight. As you can see here, Georgius got a very snappy transition initiation there as Andreas Kleinburg puts it on the door of that other S15. It's S15 versus S15, battle of the S chassis. Boom, a massive dive there from Andreas Kleinburg, getting a bit too aggressive, putting Georgius into the wall there as they now transition into that last section. Andreas, from the previous round, shown that he was a very talented and aggressive driver, but Georgius is not backing down. So this was also another run full of mistakes. So could it kind of counteract itself? We'll have to see. That was an interesting battle to watch. Just regarding into the YouTube chat, Kevin doesn't touch the wall in the inner, just for explanation. I couldn't really say what was the decider for the battle, but if you are in the RTRiga Discord, just put a message out there to and at one of the judges and just see. Someone might be able to get an explanation for you. Unfortunately, I do not have the talent or the knowledge to be given that information, as I just watch with you guys and kind of say what I see. As we wait for our judges to make a decision on this battle, Andreas Kleinburg doing a very aggressive chase, potentially zeroing his chase though, making contact in that just after the Magi through the inner clips. So it's for Georgius. I think that's how you say it. And it's unanimous. So unfortunately, Andreas Kleinburg does not get the win. He will be not going to the top 16. But big congratulations to both drivers for putting on a massive show there. Just unfortunately, too much of a big mistake making that contact through that first half of the track. As now we have our next battle coming up. Just waiting on them, and it looks like we are just waiting. I don't know if we're going to be having a break, but we will have to see. It's definitely going to be an interesting one as we are back. And I didn't. Yep, and here we go. As you can see, drivers just turning around there to get some practice runs in. People are deliberating in the YouTube chat just to about that previous battle. As you can see, this is a very beautiful track at Moto Arena Touran, kindly made by the team at DCGP. And we have been very gracefully been allowed to use this for our competition today. Ooh, oh, look at that. You can see about two drivers on our left-hand side here, just doing a nice little run there. Doing no practice. Keeping it clean. And there's that Awake S15 just coming around that outside zone now, going through the start line. Hey, Luke Butmer's in the stream from YouTube. Welcome to DKRTR, my friend, my fellow commentator in SPDS. And a very talented driver in IDC Rookie as well in real life. So if you ever want to go and see what he does, please go and check out what he does, because Luke is a very lovely man with a very lovely car. And as you can see there, Darius Ostraka just going through that second outside zone in his practice runs. This is definitely going to be an interesting second half of the top 32 for sure, because we are now going to have a Nessus. It wasn't Darius Ostraka. What am I on about Darius Ostraka? That was a Nessus. That was his teammate. They're running the same car, same livery. That's why. As we just await for them to finish their practice runs. Things are looking interesting though. This is definitely going to be one of the more competitive rounds we've had. Mostly down to how tight the track is. It's very hard to run away from the other driver. And it's a very, very hard section going through. So you can see on our left hand side there, just after the first outside zone, you've got the inner clips where you have to kind of margee through. And it is not the easiest place because those transitions can be very deadly if you don't do it right. But as you can see here, we have an SS Kubles versus Max Jagger with an SS to lead in. So we've got the Lithuanian versus the German as the lights go green and Estas coming in to that straight. Initiating now into outside zone 1 with big angle as always, making a very smooth line, but Max is making sure he is there with the Nestas. This is going to definitely be an interesting battle. Max has to put the effort in to meet this man, as a Nestas is a man possessed in that A90 Supra so far. As you've seen in qualifying, he did come second. As they come around now into that last section, coming through that inner zone, doing a very smooth job so far from both drivers. Just not quite there in that F22, unfortunately, but as they come across the line, both a really smooth run from both drivers. Just a bit more effort needed to be put in, I think, from Max in the chase. But Nestas is not the easiest driver to be against either, so we'll have to see what happens with the second half. So as you can see here, as they are now flipped around, Max Jagger leading in the beast. That is a Nestas. As now they come down the straight, flicking into outside zone 1. But look at Nestas right there from the get-go, putting on the proximity onto Max Jagger as they come round into these inner clips now. What can Nestas do in that transition? Look at the proximity, nose to bumper, as Max maybe just taps the ball there, getting a bit too deep into outside zone 2, but doing a very good job from both drivers in lead and chase. Very smooth, but Nestas is just there, making sure he is not backing down. He's like, yeah bro, I'm here, let's go. As they come across the line now, an amazing job from both drivers. I don't have favourites, but Nestas I definitely think is good. Unanimous to Nestas Kubles doing a very lovely and aggressive chase there, but we know that is Nestas on his chill mode. This is just top 32, just waiting until he gets into the deeper battles. But unfortunately, Max will not be seeing any more of this round. But congratulations to both drivers there, as we have our next battle coming up. Just making sure that the YouTube stream's caught up with my end. So we have Alexander Jagger versus Caralis. Caralis? I think that's how you say it. I'm too British. Any names that are somewhat complicated is not my forte. But Alexander, both BMWs again. BMW seems to be the very popular choice of chassis as we go through outside zone 1, doing a very nice job from the lead so far. But that F22 is making sure he doesn't back down, but just getting a bit too caught up there in that second transition as he come around into that second outside zone, pulling into the center of the track, doing a very nice job in the lead though from Alexander Jagger there. Coming around over the line, very nice run, but just a bit of a scrappy chase there, so could potentially punish him, but we will have to see. Very nice work from both these boys. Alexander Jagger's definitely another one of the drivers to beat. As we have Caralis there now in the lead, leading Alexander Jagger. Red, yellow versus green, as Alexander puts a very interesting deep initiation there to make sure he gets onto the door as soon as he can as they come into those inside clips. Transitioning now into that second outside zone, doing a very nice job there from Alexander. Both doing a very solid lead so far, so this will be an interesting one to see how it is perceived by the judges, but Alexander putting the wheel to the door there. Look at the proximity, doing a very solid job. So this could be a very clear battle for the judges, but we will have to see as the F22 almost takes out that semaphore. I can see Drift chat kind of shaking in both excitement and fear. As we wait for a judge's decision, that was a definitely an interesting battle. So it's left for Alexander and right for Caralis. Caralis? I'm never going to be able to say these names correctly, I don't think. I just struggle. So we got one for Alexander. Will it be a shake-up? Or will it go the way we think it's going to go? So far the judges are taking their time. See here, Renus and Amans are two of the judges waiting to just deliberate, get there, make sure they got the right choice and they know what they want to put their decision as. And it is a unanimous decision to Alexander Jagger. So unfortunately, Caralis just not having enough there in the chase. And I think it was that little catch off the back of the car in that second transition in those inner clips that just punished him a bit too much, unfortunately. But as you can see, here we are now moving on to our next battle with Alexander Jagger going into the top 16. As we have another S15 on the line waiting to go, which is Patrick versus Olaf in that RX-7. So we have Patrick now with the lights going green, with two green cars, two very different cars in their own respect, as well as they do a very nice flick initiation there into outside zone 1, doing a solid job in the chase so far. Look at that RX-7 with the proximity, just falling a bit behind there, but he comes back on with the big dive onto that S15. And for some reason we're getting some grass textures following the top of the RX-7, so he must have mowed some lawns just before that. But as they come around into that last outside zone, kind of falling back there, but the very solid lead line from that S15. So we'll have to see how the RX-7 does in that lead. Very, very nice work from both these drivers though. As we flip them around now, waiting to have the lights go green for the second half of the battle. As you can see there on the front of that RX-7, Camus being another one of our sponsors. And they have graciously done a lot for this series, so we thank Camus for all they do. As the lights go green now, down the main straight, excuse me, as they now initiate into outside zone 1. Very close initiation there between the two, but kind of falling behind in outside zone 1. But ooh, look at the proximity as he goes into the chase, but he's tapping him in the transition there. That could penalise him quite a bit, but he's getting a bit too aggressive. But to keep it going, very, very nice. Oh, just getting too aggressive once again into that last transition, making sure he's there, but putting a bit too much pressure on, but manages to come across the line and also contact coming across the line. So he is definitely wanting to get that victory, but unfortunately that is not the way to go about it, as any kind of contacts really are frowned upon by the judges. But very nice job for both of these drivers. Patrick maybe going a bit too aggressive. Olaf doing a solid job in the lead though, keeping it going, making sure it doesn't affect his line too much. As you can see here, we do have a decision by the judges, it looks like, so we're just going to wait on that result to come through now. So left for Patrick, right for Olaf. So Poland versus Estonia. And DKRTR is actually a international competition now. We were just a Latvian based competition last season, but we are now a multi-regional series. So if you want to get involved and you're from any part of the world, just join the Discord, get involved, have some fun, do some skids. And the best bit is you don't have to worry about getting a custom car made, because it is all on the VDC 4.0 pack. So something that a lot of you will be familiar with. As you can see here, we're just waiting on that decision from the judges while I drink my monster. Like I saw in the chat though earlier, there is a very difficult position to be as a judge. It is probably one of the hardest and thankless jobs in drifting. And it is definitely, no matter what you do, there's always going to be upset. But without the judges, we wouldn't have an event. So, big shout out to these three, doing what they do and making sure that they take their time on it. And we do have some comments in the chat, rooting for Olaf in that RX-7, as he did a very nice job in this battle so far. Biofuel RX-7, grass-fed power, yes. That's that new experimental organic petroleum. Porsche making the synthetic fuels. Grass-fed, all day, every day. Why do you think Honda's so invincible? Always mowing grasses. As we await that decision still. Big shout out to, as well, hosts. Oh, and we have 2 for one more time. So there was actually mistakes that were equal to each other. So it looks like we are going to be going into another one more time. So this is our 3rd one more time. So as we get them sent back to the start line, we will be running. But a massive shout out to our hosts and our gracious team that run this series, which is the Racing Team Riga team. Much love to these guys for doing what they do to be able to bring a competition for you to all enjoy, as they work tirelessly day in and day out to make sure that you guys can get the best show that you can get. As the lights go green, Patrick once again leading in. Olaf there as that S15 initiates in big angle going into outside zone 1. Olaf making sure that that RX-7 is right there. He is not backing down as they transition into those inner clips now. Coming around into the second outside zone, doing a very nice job from both of these drivers so far. He's nowhere near as scrappy as last time as they come around into the middle of the track. Now transitioning into the final section as they have a nice bit of proximity there. Kind of having to catch up in that last transition, but making sure he puts it wheel to wheel there as they come across the line. Very nice job from both of these drivers on that first half of the battle. So as we flip them around, Olaf putting a solid chase in, while Patrick does a really nice lead. Much cleaner. But will Patrick get too aggressive on his chase? We will have to see. As the lights go green once again, as you can see, Patrick making sure he gets the jump to make sure he is there with Olaf in that chase. And look at that, putting the wheel to the rear quarter almost as he comes around into those inner clips. Will he make the same mistake as last time as they come and big dive onto that second outside zone? RX-7 doing a very solid job. Olaf putting the right line on as Patrick does a very nice chase so far, putting the proximity in, making sure he is right where he needs to be. And will he make contact coming across the line here? He will not. He does a very solid job coming across the line. So very nice job from both of these drivers. And this is still only the top 32. What a run. So we will have to see what the judges think of that one. That was a very exciting second half there. Patrick making sure he put the pressure on in the right way that he wanted to. This is the thing, some of the drivers do get better as the... I've had it where I've had one more times and I get better with each one against that particular driver. As we await now for that decision. That was a very good battle though. Very, very good battle. Patrick definitely putting a statement up with that chase. Olaf doing a very nice job in the lead though as well in that RX-7, as we have our judges coming up here. So it's left for Patrick, right for Olaf. And who will be going into the top 16 of round 2 of DKRTR? It is going to Patrick with that unbelievable chase. So that is 15 and Patrick will be going through to the top 16. Unfortunately, Olaf just not having enough impact in the chase. It was not a unanimous decision. So unfortunately, Olaf will have his weekend finish here. But congratulations to both drivers, putting on a really good show. as you can see there, just spinning out, going through back through the tunnel, back to the pits. Go and get the cars. Go and get that S15 with some fresh tyres. Get the car refueled. Very nice performance from both of those drivers. But now we have an A90 versus S15. So the awake S15 with Gert piloting that car with Mix in that A90. And I personally think that is my favourite livery so far. That's in the series on that A90. As you can see here, they initiate into outside zone 1. Gert doing a very good job in the lead so far, but a big dive there from Nick's coming into these clips, and I'm starting to lose my accent for some reason. But look at the dives from Mix, getting very aggressive, but kind of going in and out from proximity. So that is not going to be the best looking chase that you can do as they come round now into that last outside zone. Doing a very nice job from both drivers here as they come across the line, and Gert doing a very solid lead while Mix getting very aggressive in the chase. Could have been a bit better on his proximity control, just unfortunately wavering in and out between that door. So now we have Mix in the lead while we have Gert in the chase. So we will have to see how Gert responds to that previous run as the lights go green and they come across the line now, and they're initiating into the first outside zone with a lot of angle from Gert there in that S15 as they come around now into those inside clips. Doing a very solid job at Gert, making sure he is right there on him. He is not getting away, but a nice big angle there from Mix in the lead. Doing a very good job from both sides. As now they transition into the final section of the track for the final time on this battle, as Gert is keeping it nice and smooth, but Mix looking like he just as they come across the line. So that was a very nice job from both of them. But look at that livery, that purple and white A90. Just that livery just hits different. It reminds me of the Link ECU livery almost. It's a very nice contrast of colours there. It's got a nice bit of detail to it as well. So I definitely, with the little pinstripe in across the bottom, it tickles me. It tickles me right. I like that. Same with Gert's livery, very shiny, very out there. Two very unique liveries for those cars. We'll have to see what the judges think to that battle, as it was a very interesting one from the perspective of the chase on both sides. But as you can see there on the side of Mixed Car on that A90 Super, you do have all of the series sponsors for DKRTR, and they do look good. Hope everyone is doing good in the chat. Moist Skids in the YouTube chat saying someone call Ocean Gate. Those are some nutty dives. That is that is amazing. That's probably one of the best. Yep, honestly, an amazing. Whoever designed that livery did a really nice job. Those little hints of flames inside, but it looks like it is going to Gert. So unfortunately, as much as that livery is nice, unfortunately, Mix just not being able to go through. But come check out what we do at Frontside Racing as well. Come and have a look at our livery, because I'm very biased, but I love my livery to bits. But that one does tickle my fancy a lot. That's probably one of my favourite liveries I've seen in competition so far in recent years. As we come into our next battle here, so I'm guessing you guys can still hear me on YouTube. To get their practice runs in. This has been a very interesting top 32 so far. Oh, and I think that's Gert still on the track now. Don't know what he's doing there, but must be preparing for his top 16. As you can see, these drivers putting in all the time they can get to get the practice in, as Gert once again goes back onto track to get some practice runs for his top 16. Very nice work from all of these drivers though. That does look like it's Max. Actually, I'm not too sure who that is. We do have the Team Riga cars back on track as well, so everyone's trying to get as many runs as they can get, because this is a very competitive grid. Doing a very nice job there in that outside line though. Even if this is just practice. Oh, just shutting it down there. Not too sure if that must be an SS there in that A90. Tiredness is definitely starting to hit. It has been a long day. But we hope you have all been enjoying the show so far. We are still in the top 32 of the second round of DKRTR Drift King of RTRiga 2024. Oh, and it looks like we do have a server reset happening. So we will have a short break potentially on the YouTube side, but we will still keep the action going on TikTok. Not too sure. And I was correct. Do we have the man, Mr. Edgar's? That man is here. Is he still here? Pretty sure he is. Amazing work so far though from all of the drivers on the grid. Looking solid, and we are back with all of the drivers back on the grid. Getting some practice runs in there. As you can see, there's an Evo 10 going around the outside zone, going through the start line. Solid work from all of the drivers here. As the semaphore, as you can just see there on the right hand side, semaphore is back at the start line, which means we are getting ready to send our competitors back onto the grid, get them pitted up and get ready for the next set of battles. W's and S chassis here. Just gonna try and get a second Wi-Fi connection set up. These drivers making sure they want to get all of their practice in. Whew. Just gonna quickly turn my fan on, try and wake myself up. Been a very long day so far. There we go. You can see here from those practice runs, people are definitely having some fun with this layout. Look at that Evo 10 going that chase. Jesus. As we have our next set of battles lined up. We have 4 battles left of the top 32. And then from there, we will be on the top 16. So we're just waiting on our next battles. I can't tell whether my audio is still up. We will have to see. Oh no, it is. Yep. Okay. Cool. So we do still have audio on my end. So I did not even realise. So as you can see there, we have our next lineup on our right hand side of the bracket. So it will be Patrick versus Juan. So I think we have another Patrick actually. I think it's two. Yeah, so we have two Patricks in this top 32. So we have we have Patrick versus Juan. We have Lucas versus Lucas Pasquani versus Sim. Mans versus Manis versus Ritum. And Tim versus Yanis. Obviously, I ain't saying some of the last names because I will butcher them. I am terrible with some of these names. So I do apologise if it feels like I am not doing enough. Ooh, almost coming off the stream there. I think we're just making sure that everyone's ready to go. But how is everyone doing in the chat? As my Wi-Fi struggles to work on my phone, I can't get this live chat up on YouTube. Not good. So if you are on the TikTok through Frontside Racing, we do have the full HD stream on the Racing Team Riga YouTube channel. So if you do want to watch it in the full resolution, go ahead and head over to that. And you will still get the full action there. If you want to just watch on your phone, and you're on TikTok, and you come across our stream on Frontside Racing, come say hi. You can see me in the flesh. Yeah, pretty much. I am literally in between two different streams right now. And Moist is definitely definitely putting the work in. Ooh. Why has that come up? That can be minimized. Oh god, there's all sorts of things going on here. There we go. What? There we go. Yep, exactly. So if you are having to go and have a bathroom break, you can stay with the stream through Frontside Racing on the TikTok. We are making sure that you get the action no matter where you are, so everyone gets the coverage they need as the action continues. Currently, we are just having a small little chat break while we wait for the drivers to get prepared, and our judges seem to be having a slow little breather, as well as our stream manager as well. I just noticed all the dirt in my fan. Oh my. Almost just exploded the fan. Oh dear. Got all the fluff going on to me. So yep, if you head over to the Frontside Racing TikTok, that's where you can keep up to date with everything that is going on. Yeah, pretty much, boys, pretty much. as I'm currently cleaning my fan out. Who do you think will take the top spot for today? That is the question. That is the question I will be asking throughout this top 32 and top 16 and onwards, because it's anyone's game. Oh, and it does look like we are getting our drivers ready to grid up into the pits. As you can see, the action of the practice. So far, everyone is seeming to be having a very good time on this out, though. Very, very good time. But it does look like all of our drivers have been put back into pits, so it looks like our next battle does look like it will be coming out very shortly. Oh, I've got loads of fluff all over me now. Probably shouldn't have been cleaning the fan while it was on, but hey ho, we move. As you can see now, we do have two cars coming out of that tunnel. So our next battle is here for the top 32, which is Patrick in that Evo 10 with Juan in the chase in that A90 Supra. Two very interesting looking liveries as we send them straight down the line now as they go into that initiation. Big flick from both the drivers with that A90 in tow, chasing that Evo 10 in the lead, doing a very solid job from both of these drivers so far as they go through those in the clips. Juan almost just cutting it a bit too close, but he almost makes contact there, but manages to keep it going as they come around now into the middle of the track. Transitioning now into the final section as they do a very solid job. Juan putting in some nice pressure with a lot of proximity, and across the line they go. So very nice job from both drivers so far. As my YouTube stream seems to be messing up. So we have them flipped around now with that A90 in lead, and the Patrick in that Evo 10 to chase as they go down the straight and initiate. Do a very smooth initiation there with that Evo 10, doing a very good job and not being too aggressive as they come through into those inside clips. Doing a solid job, but look at the dive from that Evo 10. Patrick putting on the pressure with Juan in that ATDT A90 Supra, doing a solid job between the two of them. Line in the lead is solid, while also Patrick putting on an amazing chase here as they come across the line. What a beautiful set of runs. That is not a battle I'd be wanting to judge. As they come through now, park the cars ready for their decision. Two very nice looking cars though, as we get a wave there from Patrick as he did in the qualifying. Giving the chat a wave, giving the stream a wave, saying hello. He's having a good time, as we all are in this round. Fortunately, Juan doesn't seem to be able to use the force to open that bonnet. As we just wait on the judge's decision now. Oh, and we've got some light flashes and a couple of bonnet waves. Gives them so much character. Two very lovely looking cars though. That ATDT livery looking it's a very striking livery. Gotta say, I am a sucker for it. And it does look like the judges are going to be putting in their decisions with Patrick on the left, Juan on the right, who will be taking this battle for the top 16, and it is going to be going to Patrick, and it's not unanimous, so Juan did get 1 vote. So a very nice job from both of these drivers. Patrick, and moving on into the top 16 in that Evo 10. A solid job from both of the drivers. As we await our next battle. Patrick just not wanting to come off of the track from the looks of it. Wanting to steal the limelight. As you can see here, we do have our next set of battle, which is Lucas versus Sim, and we do have people going for both. We do have people cheering for both drivers here, so we will have to see how this battle goes. But Lucas leading in, Sim now in that F22 Eurofighter with the S15 in tow as they initiate now. Sim doing a very nice chase so far. Lucas doing a solid lead though to match it up. Because as you must know, if without a solid lead, there can't be a solid chase. But both drivers doing a very nice job now, with Sim doing a nice little dive there as they come around into the final section of the track, transitioning now. Not too much proximity there from Sim, but doing a solid chase nevertheless. But look at the proximity now coming across the line, doing a very nice chase. Lucas doing a very, very nice lead as well. But look at the size of the wing on that RB30 S15. Absolutely gigantic. As we have them flipped around now, we're getting ready for the second half of the battle with Drift in the semaphore on the right hand side of your screen there, as we await the lights to go to green, as it does just now. Lucas in chase with Sim in the lead. Will it be the S15 to take the top into the top 16, or will it be the S22 as they come around into outside zone 1? Lucas kind of falling behind a bit there, but putting the pressure back onto Sim there as they transition now into the inner clips. Coming around into the second outside zone with a very nice chase from Lucas as Sim puts it across the wall. Look at the wing clipping into the wall there as they come around into the middle section of the track. Transitioning for the final time in this battle as they come around into that last outside zone. Doing a very nice chase there from Lucas, but in fact, Sim is making sure he puts on the best lead he can. So we'll have to see what the judges say. But that was a very, very lovely battle between the two. A lot of proximity and a lot of good lines in the lead. So we will have to see what is said as they stare each other down in those very almost identical coloured cars. But we do have people in the chat rooting for both of these drivers here. Just to give their wheels a little wobble there, just giving themselves a little wave. They were definitely happy. They must have been happy with that battle. That was a beautiful performance from both of these talented drivers. I heard they do donuts. If they're listening to the stream, they best be like, where's the donuts? And it does look like we do have a decision. So 1 for Lucas, 1 and is right for Sim, left for Lucas, 1 already for Lucas. So we'll have to see what the other judges say. And it's unanimous victory to Lucas there with that lovely chase in that second half of the battle. So unfortunately, Sim just not having quite enough impact to compare with that F22. So congratulations to Lucas, but a very nice job there from Sim. So hopefully we'll see him next round. But Lucas moving on to that top 16, top 32. I'm in qualifying mode apparently still. But as you can see here, another battle of the S chassis. But for the first time today, we will have our Mans vs Manus in that PS13 with Rhythms in that S15. So another RB powered S15 as they come down the straight now. We'll have to see, is it B-Knuckle? Will we have Butt Knuckle versus Wisefab? Who will take the top spot as they come round into those inner clips, doing a very solid job so far from the Mans in the lead. And Rhythm's making sure he is right there with him. Look at the proximity there as they come around into the second half, or last half of the track, should I say. Very, very nice job there from both drivers as Rhythm puts it wheel to door there, coming across the line. Just like it says on the door, smooth. So as we spin them around now, you can see that RB just peeking through that little vent hole in between the two gap on that S15. So it'll be Rhythms leading in our Mans now as they cover in down the straight in towards outside zone 1, doing a very nice smooth initiation there from Rhythms, but a man's making sure he is on that door as they transition now into the second outside zone. Oh, but making contact with the wall there, which means our mans did not have many places to go, so it could reflect badly for Rhythms here as they transition around into this last section of the course, coming into that last outside zone. But a man's just struggling to keep up there, but he manages to find a door just as they come across the line. So a nice little 360 there from Rhythms, but that could have been a big mistake on Rhythms' end from that wall contact, potentially cutting off our man's chase. But we will have to see what they say. Look at that beautiful black and red livery with that red underglow as well. That does look very nice. As our man's is back at the line for some reason. Don't know what he's doing there. He must think it's an OMT. So as we await the judge's call, oh, and it looks like Rhythms is going to join him. Are they just going to do another run? They potentially could just be doing another run just for the sake of it, because why not? Or are they just going to sit on the line for their result? We will have to see. Lovely job by both of these drivers though. I am fully expecting them to just come off the line and do a run, to be honest. But it looks like we do have one for an OMT. So it's left for our mans, right for Rhythms. And it is going to be a one more time, which is not unanimous, mind you. And they're already sat at the line, but unfortunately they do need to go and grab some new tyres, because those tyres will be a bit too worn to do a second battle with. So as you can see here now, they come back through the tunnel and reline themselves for the second half, or should I say first half of their second battle. Oh, I am having issues with the stream once again, but our mans is now initiating in with Rhythms in the chase to follow. But look at the proximity from Rhythms in that S15 there as they come around into those inner clips. Around to the second outside zone. Rhythms doing a very nice job in the chase there, as Amans does a solid lead line as well. Could be a bit deeper into outside zone, the second outside zone there, but doing a very solid, smooth lead as they come around into that last section of the track. Rhythms making sure he is there, but not getting too crazy, but he puts it onto the rear quarter of that car as they come across the line. So a very nice chase there from Rhythms and a nice lead from Amans as we flip him around. Ready for the second half of this battle, of this one more time. As you can see, there's semaphore counting down the lights with our lovely sponsor and staff member Drift Chat himself as they come around now into the first outside zone, doing a very nice job in the lead there as Armand puts the pressure on as they transition through to the second outside zone. But look at the proximity, but unfortunately knocking him into the wall. Armand's getting too aggressive, and that transition did reward him for a split second, but almost just basically threw it away straight after by getting too aggressive as they come across the line. So unfortunately that could be the end of Armand's weekend, but we will have to see whether it was down to Rhythms not could he have not had enough speed there. We'll have to see as they are back on the line again. Oh, are we going to see another run? I have a feeling Drift Chat's just very tempted to put those lights on and send them down again. Well, I don't think the marshals around the track would be appreciative of a active run when there shouldn't be one. Virtually, that is, if we had any marshals on there. I think the only marshal would technically have is Drift Chat in the semaphore. Just pretend it's packed stadium. Just gonna double check the chat here, but we do have potentially a decision here. So left for Armand, right for Rhythms, and it is a unanimous decision for Rhythms there. So it was down to Armand just getting too aggressive in the chase, going through that margie, getting too aggressive and putting Rhythms in the wall. So congratulations to Rhythms, and we will be seeing him in the top 16. While luckily our man's is going to have no further progression here into the top 32. As I think this potentially could be the last battle of our top 32 bracket. Not too sure. But we do have Tim versus Yanis, so I do think this is the last battle of the top 32 bracket. Two F22s, two different colours. So as Tim leads in Yanis there, two identical cars with two different coloured liveries. To now initiate into and across outside zone 1, doing a very nice chase there so far with Yanis. Tim doing a solid lead. Yanis getting very aggressive with the angle there, just kind of choking himself up. But as they come through the second outside zone, Yanis making sure he's back onto the door of Tim there. Going through that last transition now. Doing a very solid job from between the two, but just not enough proximity there from Yanis, unfortunately, I don't think. So he'll have to put a lot more work into the lead as they switch around. So as you can see there, we have Yanis now in the lead with Tim to chase. So the lights go green. Are they going to get mean? We will have to see. As they initiate, big flick initiation there from Yanis, but Tim making sure he is right there, putting the proximity on as we come through those inner clips. As you can see here, Tim definitely getting the right placement for that transition, making sure he is right there, doing a very good job. As Yanis does a very smooth lead so far, getting very close to that outside, but they keep it going as they go. Oh, and just making contact with the wall potentially there. I could not really see what happened that well. It could have been that Tim made contact, or could he have made contact with the wall? We will have to see. But unfortunately, that does zero the lead. But we will have to see what was at fault through the judging. Oh, what happened there? Yeah, I don't think Yanis was very happy with that result, fortunately. But we do have potentially a decision here, so it'll be left for Tim, right for Yanis. And it is going to be unanimous for Tim. So unfortunately, Yanis did just make contact with the wall in that last outside zone, unfortunately taking himself out of the top 32. So unfortunately, that will be the end, but Tim will be going through the top 16. And I do believe that could have been the last battle of the top 32 bracket. We will have to see. As we just await on the next part to this event. As you can see, the server is once again lively and packed, with all of our drivers getting their practice runs going, and almost chaos happening at the start line as the track does cross through the start line as well. So, as you can see here, we have Evo and an R35 tandeming. Oh, just hitting someone there on the start line. It looked like it could have been Darius, or it wasn't a car. There's absolute chaos going on at the start line, but that is the nature of this course, as it does loop back around on itself. So all the drivers scramble to get through, to get their runs ready. Practice is always crazy on this track. So as you can see here on the bottom of the screen, as they come through the outside zone, it does come back through that lead gate, that start gate. So it does loop around on itself, so it's a dangerous place to be. It is, yes, it is a wreck fest. But it's entertaining. Are you not entertained? Where am I? I might have to do the technique of standing up commentary again. Purely because I'm starting to get tired. I think it's the sitting down that's getting me. So we will angle up my computer monitor and get my chair out of the way so we can get some commentary going where I'm more alive. Oh la la. It's been a very good event so far, so we hope you are all enjoying it. Just sorting out a couple of little bits. There we go. So we are set back up now. Just want to get a confirmation from our lovely host Edgar's on how long we will be. And I do hear that he is back. There we go. How long do we have, my friend, till our top 16 bracket starts?
Oh, we're gonna start any second now. We're gonna take down these two groups on the top 16, and they're gonna take 5-minute break.
Okay. So as you can hear that we will be starting our top 16 bracket very, very soon. So do not go anywhere. Grab a beverage quickly, grab a snack. We will continue the action very shortly. For now, enjoy the view of the track, as it looks like our drivers are getting ready to grid back up, get ready to rip some doors. As we have our first top 16 battle, which is Alex Lasmanis versus Mattis. And I think I'm starting to lose my throat. So as you can see here, Alex Lasmanis in that E92 with Mattis in that F22. Two BMWs once again. It is the most popular chassis we have so far. We can't escape them as the lights go green, and they are doing a lovely job today in the top 32. So we'll have to see how they perform in the top 16. Mattis not getting too close, but then he puts a nice big dive there onto Alex Lasmanis as they transition now into those inner clips. Coming around, look at the proximity from Mattis there, doing a lovely, lovely job as the lead also keeps it going smooth. And that is what we want to see. If you if you do a nice smooth lead, oh, but straight up there from Mattis, which almost takes out Alex Lasmanis, unfortunately. So that could potentially zero his chase, which gives a massive advantage to Alex Lasmanis. And unfortunately, that is going to put a bit of pressure on Mattis now as he goes into the lead with Alex to chase, and Alex potentially could. If he does have a spotter, he might potentially know what's been going on in behind him, so he will have to make advantage of this current situation he is in. But Alex putting a very nice bit of proximity on Mattis there as they transition now into those inner clips. Coming around, becoming very risky as they come around into that second outside zone, doing a very nice job so far from Alex Lasmanis. Mattis putting a very good lead line on so far though, so he's making sure that he does not do a silly mistake in the lead, but coming a bit shallow onto that outside zone. But a very nice chase from Alex there to come across the line. Very solid performance from both of these drivers. Beautiful, beautiful work. So we will just be waiting on the judges to deliberate on a decision. The standing up commentary has begun, so things are getting serious. As you can see there, the Hassan Racing E92 that Alex is driving there. Very cool livery. A lot of detail for a livery that does not have much on it. But it's one of those liveries where you have a lot more depth with the multicolour. As you can see there, you got those little black accents going across the car, but almost blending in to that red, which is a very nice touch. Very, very cool looking car, and the livery suits it very well. And I do believe that those wheels on the car are Enke's from the looks of the spoke design. So very cool piece of kit to be driving. As the judges are still waiting to make up their minds, but as you can see here, it will be left for Alex Lusmanis and right for Mattis. So who's going to be moving on to the Great 8? And it is Alex Lusmanis taking the first top 16 victory of round 2. Unfortunately, Mattis just straightened up in that chase, unfortunately taking himself out. But hopefully we will see him next round. But a very nice job from both drivers there. And well done to Mattis to get into the top 16, just unfortunately not having quite enough there, making that mistake. But welcome to drifting. It's the most unpredictable sport you could be in, as we have our second top 16 battle coming up now to the start line, which will be Darius Ostraka versus Jan. So this one's going to be a very interesting one, with Darius representing Team RTRiga here as they come down the main line now. Initiating in. Ooh, Jan struggling to get the proximity there, with Darius almost leaving him on that straight, but he comes back now. Jan putting on the pressure with that F22, putting it up to that Supra, doing a very nice job so far. Darius putting on a very smooth lead line as they come out nice and wide into the middle section of the track as they transition now into the last section. Jan putting on the pressure, but not getting too close, definitely having a bit of struggle of pace. As he comes up now across the line, he puts a wheel to the door, making sure he is there. So a very nice job there from Jan, and Darius doing everything he can to make his line the best he can do. So as we switch him around now, we will have Jan in the lead with Darius to chase after him. And there he is. As you can look at that, Darius making sure he sits back to get that little bit of a run up to make sure he is there with Jan, because that F22 is not slow. As they come around now into outside zone 1, Darius doing a very nice job against Jan in that lead as they transition out through the inner clips. Darius kind of being a bit set back, but he knows what he has to do, as Jan puts on a really lovely lead line so far, doing an incredible job as they come around now into that last inside clip, I should say. As Darius Ostraka kind of falling behind a bit there, which is very uncharacteristic for him as they come across the line. So that will be an interesting one to watch for you guys, I'm sure and certain. There's a lot of you saying go Jan, so Jan did a very solid lead there. So we will have to see what the judges think that. So Darius is on the left, Jan on the right, and it is going to go to Darius Ostraka, just having a bit more consistency, and it is unanimous. But a very nice job there from Jan, proving that he can play with the big boys. Just unfortunately not having enough to move on to the top 8. So we will be seeing Darius into the Great 8 as we await for our next battle now. As we are getting through this very nicely and very quickly, I should mention. I'm currently on the TikTok stream from Frontside Racing, and we are currently on 1 hour 45. So we're making very good time. But as you can see here, we have Daniel leading him over with that R35 to lead that Evo 10 to chase. As they initiate now into massive proximity there from Vova, making sure he is there with that R35, putting on the pressure from the initiation as they transition now. Big dive from there in that Evo 10, putting it to bumper as they come around now into the middle of the track as they transition into the final section. Vova putting on an insane chase though, almost wheel to wheel. Look at the proximity there with that R35 putting on a solid lead line. That is a beautiful first half of that battle. Look at the flames coming out the bottom of that car. Daniel doing a beautiful job in the lead there. Now we switch them around. That R35 to chasing that Evo 10. So two very different kind of chassis really. as they now initiate coming across the line here. Going into outside zone 1, but Daniel making sure he is right there with Vova. Going through those inner clips. Look at that, doing the exact same. Almost getting caught up though as they transition through into that second outside zone, doing a very solid job. Daniel putting on a very good chase once again. Just as much, nearly as much as Vova, I'd like to say, as they come around that last outside zone, doing a solid job from both of these drivers. So massive, massive congratulations to both of them on that battle, because that was definitely one to definitely a show. Look at the size of the wing though on both of these cars, as the Evo 10 does have spinners on it. As you can see on the back, he did decide he wanted the spinners instead of standard wheels. So, as we await our judges' call, who do we think will take this battle in the comments? Come on, give us your predictions. What a day, what a day. See these judges making sure they want to put the best judging they can do. As I say, the battle results screen is here and it is left for Daniel, right for Vova, who is going to take it. And it's a one more time for Martin's saying it is going to Vova, but who is going to give the decider? And it is going to be a one more time for this battle. So both of them putting on the same kind of effort, and kind of just the judge just can't find a way to find an equalizer. So we will be rerunning this battle. So it will be Evo 10 versus R35 once again, with Vova chasing in that R35. Look at the size of that thing. It is an absolute weapon of a car. As you can see here, we have Daniel back in the lead with Vova in that Evo 10 to chase once again, as we wait for the lights on the right hand side of the screen there. Carry it down as the lights go green. We send them back down the straight for the second time in this one more time. But look at Vova straight onto that door, not hesitating to be right there with Daniel in that lead as they transition through those inner clips. But just catching the back of that R35. It is a very long car, but he's just getting a bit too aggressive there potentially as they come around into the middle side of the track. Doing a very, very good job so far between these two. Vova maybe getting a bit too aggressive in points, but very nice chase as that R35 puts on a solid lead as they come across the line and finish up that first half of the one more time. So we will be flipping them around, spin them back up. We'll get them sent down now for the second half of this one more time. Will Vova be able to cope with the pressure? And will Daniel be able to put on the pressure onto Vova? We will see as they now go down the straight, as they initiate in towards outside zone 1. Getting very close there from Daniel, putting on a lot of pressure onto that Evo 10 as they transition now through those inner clips. But look at the transition there from Daniel, bumper to bumper, making sure he is there and trying to get this win as they come around now into the final transition, doing a very solid job. And now through that last outside zone, doing such a nice chase there from Daniel in that big R35 with a 360 from the Evo 10, almost bending it into the wall. But beautiful work from both of these drivers. So I feel so bad for the judges because they're not making it easy. They're really not making it easy. Beautiful work from both. Just going to do a weather check. Not too bad in the UK. Not as depressing as it usually is. As you can see here, these two competitors putting it down on the line for that victory to get into the top 8. Doing a very good job. Just not making it easy to judge. So now we are just awaiting on that decision. And while we do, I'm going to go and check our socials. So far, things are looking good. We hope you have been enjoying the show as we await on this decision. Beautiful, beautiful looking liveries though, look at that. With the tail lights, with the, I can't remember the name of those characters. Wicked piece of art though. Who will be taking the top spot in this battle? That is the question. As my throat starts to destroy itself. And we do have a decision, so it will be one for Daniel. So it's Daniel on the left, Favour on the right. Who is going to be taking that top spot? We already have one vote for Daniel. And the two other judges just making sure that they know what decision they are going to make and that they are confident with it. And it is a unanimous decision going to Daniel, so unfortunately Vova just getting too aggressive in the chase at one point, making contact in one of the transitions, which did dock his chase points and gave the advantage to Daniel, and Daniel of course putting on a clean chase in the second half. So unfortunately Vova will not be continuing on into the top 8, but we will be seeing Daniel there, so congratulations to Daniel. Just unfortunately both can't make it, so had to go one way or the other. But we do have Julgis versus Kevin. So we have a Latvian local coming up against the German. So we do have the German to chase in the Latvian. S15 versus E92. This is going to be a lovely set of battle as we wait for that start line marshal to send them down. Don't know what's going on here. As the lights do go green and we send them down the straight with the S15 that is powered by the 2J down the main straight. Kevin definitely being a bit hesitant there from the start as they come around into this inner clip section. Kevin's definitely playing it very safe, which could cost him if he does not come up onto Julgis there quick enough. As you can see, the gap is forming as they come round now into that last outside zone, but that S15 is on a belter of a run, very quick as they come across the line. And Kevin's definitely got to do something spectacular to try and bring it back in the second half as they realign up with Julgis giving himself a bit of a run up there as they come back down the main straight now, coming into that initiation with Julgis making sure he is right there, but a bit of a gap once again between the two. We'll have to see what they do with the rest of this run as they come into these inside clips now, transitioning into the second outside zone. So far so good, it's very clean, but they both look very hesitant in proximity. So now come around into that last transition, not getting very getting very close there, but maybe Julgis does have a bit more proximity there. Just a lot, it does seem to be a lot of hesitation between the two. But a very nice run that is clean between the two. So, can't really complain. No contact being made, no dirty work at play. Just a good, clean battle. You can't argue with that really, can you? So, very nice work from both of these drivers. So we'll have to see what the judges think to that one. Ooh, just caught my toe on my chair then. Haha. Do like the contrast of that white and the pinks though, and the purples on that S15. Very nice looking car. And as you can see, the lovely artwork designed by our staff here at DKRTR on these cars. Beautiful looking cars. So if you want to compete and you don't have a livery made for these, we do have some pre-made liveries specifically for the series that you can use. made by our lovely staff team. And there's plenty to choose from. Multiple colorways, multiple designs. Can't go wrong really, can you? So make sure to join the Racing Team Riga Discord and get involved. Come have some fun. Also, if you do want to sign up, make sure to go to the Racing Team Riga website, as tickets are on there and registration will be done through there. Make sure you go and sign up for the next rounds when it opens. Definitely got to be trying to be a bit careful with my voice, as I do feel like it's starting to go. But it does look like we will be having a decision here, and left for Kevin, right for Georgius, but we do have one for own OMT and one for Kevin, so this is definitely an interesting call so far. As we can see here, we have our final judge waiting to put his choice out, who will be going into the top 8, and it will be a one more time, so there wasn't actually enough there for the judges to differentiate the two runs, so we'll get them reset. Fresh tyres, fresh fuel. Get them a drink, little sip of water or something. Get them back onto track, as you can see as they come through the tunnel now. The world's fastest pit stop team. Take that, F1. So we have Kevin back in the chase now with Julius in the lead, as we wait for the start line to send them back. So here we go, the second part of this battle. Going into it one more time, which was just doing a very nice initiation there. Once again, Kevin getting a lot more proximity so far going into these inner clips as they transition now into the second outside zone. But once again, just not being very confident in getting that proximity, but he comes around, gets a nice little dive going on there. Julius doing a solid lead so far. Definitely, they do seem to be struggling to get a bit of grip from the looks of this as they come round over the line, but Kevin just putting on the proximity a bit too late there. So very similar to that previous battle before the OMT. As we flip them around now and send them down the straight once more in the second half of the one more time. So as they flick now and initiate into outside zone 1, as Julius just has a nice big proximity there coming into these inner clips. Transitioning through that margin section now, but look at the dive from Julius, making sure he is there, not messing about, making sure he is doing a better chase than he did last time as they come around now into that final transition, making sure that they are together. Doing a very nice lead though so far from Kevin, and Julius just having much better proximity than last time, and this could look like he has the advantage potentially. See, I'm not a judge still. I'm just a commentator, but it definitely looked like it was a better performance this time from Julius, having a bit more strength in his chase. So we'll have to see what the judges think. Who will get the victory in this OMT in the top 16? This is the first half of the top 16 bracket. Things are going very smoothly though. We have had quite a few OMTs, so the drivers are making it very hard for the judges to do their job today. And it is 1 to Kevin so far. So left for Kevin, right for Julius. So definitely so far Kevin does have the judge advantage with that 1 to him, as we await on our 2 other judges. And it is going to go to Kevin, so it wasn't a unanimous decision. So it was gonna. One of our judges did say it could have been a one more time again, but it went to Kevin Schwartz in the end. So a big congratulations to him. We will be seeing him in the top 8, as we do have our bracket here. We will be moving on to our second half of the top 16 very shortly. And it will begin with Anestas Rubles versus Alexander Jagger. And then we'll have Patrick versus Gert. And then we'll have another Patrick versus Lucas, and then Rhythms versus Tim. So as you can see here, the first battle of the top 4 will be Alex Lasmanis versus Darius Straker, which is going to be a very interesting battle to say the least, and then we'll have Daniel versus Kevin. So it's going to be a very, very tense, and then potentially we could see a Team Ursa final if all goes to the way they plan. As you can see here, we do have the drivers back onto the track, getting their practice in, making sure they are prepared for their top 16 battle, which will be the first. And as you can see, we are potentially getting them sent back into the pits as we get the bracket back up here. Tell you what, commentary definitely does my throat in, that's for sure. Probably should have done a warm-up. So far this is a very, very interesting event though. Hope you're all doing well. The chat has quietened down quite a bit, so hopefully you all haven't fallen asleep. Because the battles have been a bit too exciting, to be honest. And as you can see, we are back onto the track. We have all of our drivers practicing ready for the next set of battles through the top 16. And it does look like our next battle is coming up to the line. We do have Ernestas Yukubles in the lead there, getting ready to lead in Alexander Jagger, who has just pulled up to the chase lane. As we get ready to send these boys down the straight as the lights go green. This is definitely going to be a battle to watch. If you are not watching, what are you doing? This is going to be insane. As Alexander Jagger putting on the pressure to Ernestas Yukubles there, doing an insane job so far as he just catches him in that transition. But as they come into that second outside zone, you're doing a very, very impressive job so far. And Nessas doing a very nice lead, but Alexander putting on all of the pressure that he can give, as he knows Anestas is going to be a man to beat. But look at the pressure he's putting onto the door of Anestas Cubulis there as they come across the line. What a first half of the battle. This is going to be crazy, because if anything, we know Anestas is definitely an aggressive chase driver, and he is very pinpoint and precise, and he is going to be looking to put all of the pressure he can onto Alexander there, if he has his spotter telling him what's just happened in that previous run. As he turns around now here, he is in the chase lane, getting poised to strike Alexander as the lights go green. They come in towards that initiation, firing it down the straight, as Anestas is quite nice. Yeah, well, there you go. As Anestas puts it back onto the door of Alexander Jagger. So far, they come through that transition. Look at the proximity in that transition. Doing a beautiful job so far. Putting it door to door and making a bit of contact with the wall there. A little bit of shunting, getting a bit aggressive. But as they come around into that transition, they're doing a beautiful, beautiful run. As they come around that last outside zone, coming across the line. And wow, that got very, very intense between the two there. They made very close contact. Potentially Alexander could have gone into the wall, but it could have been that Anestas could have put him into there. So we'll have to see what the judges say. Beautiful work from both of these drivers though. Putting on a top show as they should be. So we'll have to see what the judges think. As you can see here, we do have the judges' decision screened up with Anestas on the left and Alexander on the right. 1 to Alexander Jagger. So this could be an upset for Team Better here, potentially. And it is going to Alexander Jagger, so potentially Anestas did just put him into the wall with bit too much aggression in that chase. But a beautiful job regardless from both drivers, so congratulations to Alexander Jagger. We will be seeing him in the Great 8, and Anestas unfortunately will not be moving on. But we will be getting our next battle up here now, which is Patrick versus Gert. So we got 2J versus RB, which is going to be very interesting. Two very different driving styles of the cars. One on 3.0 Moisefab, one on 2.0. One's front rack, one's mid, one's rear rack. So we'll have to see how they can make up in this battle. But as you can see here, Gert doing a very good job so far, putting the pressure onto Patrick with that nice proximity there as they come in towards these into these inner clips. Coming around into outside zone 2, doing a solid job in the lead so far from Patrick there, as Gert tries to get back onto the door as they transition now for the last half of the track. Gert kind of falling back a bit there, but Patrick putting on a solid lead as Gert puts the pressure back onto Patrick as they come across the line, and Gert making sure with that livery that Patrick stays awake. But now we have them flipped around, getting ready for the second half of the battle. As you can see there, once again, another one of our sponsors on the front of Gert's car, Night Venom. Big shout out to him with all the work he does for us. As they come around now into outside zone 1, doing a solid job there from Patrick. Look at the chase, look at the proximity as they come around into those inner clips. But Patrick kind of almost cutting up in there and making contact with Gert, which doesn't look like it's going to go well for him. And it does shut the run down early. So we'll have to see what the judges deem that. Could it be too much aggression? Could it have been too much excitement? Gert. Yes, Gert. Sorry, I do apologize to those in the chat. Sometimes I don't, when I'm talking fast, it's hard to pronounce names in the right way. Very lovely work there from both the drivers. So we will have to see what the judges think to that, as Gert gives us a nice little flash as he gets a very confident feeling potentially there. And of course, it is going to be a unanimous decision there for Gert. Unfortunately, Patrick just getting too aggressive in that transition. So we will be seeing him in the next round, but Gert will be in the Great 8. As we await our next battle, we have Patrick in that Evo 10 with Lucas in that F22. Andy gives us a little wave at the start line there. I love it when people do that. It's wicked. So we have Patrick leading in, Lucas now going down the main straight, initiating in with a big flick. Lucas doing a very nice job, keeping the proximity clean and tidy as we come around into that first inside clip. Doing a very solid job there in that F22 against that Evo 10, as they both do a very solid run, keeping it clean, but that Evo 10 just rubbing against the wall there, doing a very nice lead as we come around now into that last outside section. Coming inside, look at that chase from Lucas. He's doing a solid chase, putting it wheel to wheel as they come across the line and doing a beautiful first clean run. Solid work from both of these drivers with that Big Duck Club. Big Duck Club. Yep, Big Duck Club livery. And I do seem to have had there. I couldn't. Oh, we're having a couple of issues with my internet once again, it looks like. But so far, this battle is looking pretty aggressive between the two. I'm looking on the YouTube stream so far, and things are getting crazy. As they now finish up the run. Unfortunately, I just could not see the rest of that battle, as I did have a couple of internet issues popping up. But looking back through the YouTube stream, things seem to be very solid. We'll have to see what the judges think. As they both wait there. Can Patrick give us a little wave? With that bonnet. Do believe though that second half of the battle was very good, so unfortunately I just didn't catch it, but all of you did. And there's the wave as they sit there after a great battle, waiting for their result. Just waiting on that result now. Judges do want to make sure that they deliberate correctly, as battles like this aren't going to be the easiest for them to judge. As you can see here, we do have one for Patrick though on the left, but do we have any for Lucas on the right? That is the question. Who is going to take this spot? Is it the F22 or is it the Evo 10? We will see. And one for one more time. And it is going to be a one more time, so the battle was too close for the judges to decide, so we will be moving on and getting another run between these two, another battle. The judges want to see this reran. So obviously making it too close for them to actually judge. Amazing work from both of these drivers, and well deserved, so they get to go at it again and hash it out. As you can see here, they're coming back to the start line now, spinning those cars around. We'll get them sent back on their way down the straight, with Patrick back in the lead, with Lucas to chase him in once again. As the lights go green, we send them down the straight with that Evo 10 firing it in. As Lucas puts it right onto the wheel-to-wheel. As Patrick puts on a good lead so far. Keeping it nice and tucked into those inner clips as they come round into that second outside zone. But the dive from Lucas, making sure he is right there. As Patrick has that wing just coming over the ball. Coming around into that last section of the track now. Getting very close to that outside wall there. As they come around into that last outside zone, doing a very solid job there in the chase from Lucas. Patrick doing a beautiful lead as well. So once again, another solid run from both of these drivers. It is now the question of who can make the more mistakes, or the least mistakes, should I say? Wrong way. As we now send them back down the straight once again. Now Lucas leading in Patrick for the second time in this OMT. As Patrick puts on the proximity onto Lucas, just like he did in his lead. Look at that beautiful one. Look at the dive. That was a fast dive there from Patrick. Getting very risky with it, but making sure he was there. Lucas doing a solid lead so far, keeping it nice and smooth. As they come round now into that last outside zone, Patrick making sure he is right there, putting it wheel to wheel now onto that door as they come across. The beautiful work from both of these drivers as Lucas gives a nice little celebratory spin, almost hitting our semaphore. As they now wait their second set of the results. Very nice one more time battle. Beautiful, beautiful work from both of these drivers as always. Putting on a show for all of you. As you can see there, we do have a lot of banners dedicated to our amazing sponsor Latvia Drift, who are one of our main sponsors, who are the beating heart of the Latvian drift community, who are also the organisers and hosts of pretty much anything you know drifting in real life for Latvia. They are there. They are doing their bits behind the scenes. So massive thank you to them to be able to support and give us a platform. As we do have one for Lucas now, but do we have any for Patrick on the left? We will have to see, as our two other judges await a decision. A very tense moment for both of these drivers, and it is a unanimous victory to Lucas, doing an amazing job in both the lead and the chase. Just unfortunately Patrick not having quite as much to go with, but we will see him next round. But beautiful work from Lucas there, so we will see him in the Great 8 as we await our next battle. Here they are. So, we have Tim versus Rhythms. Coming up to the line now with Tim to lead and Rhythms in the chase. As the lights go green, they initiate down with that F22 in the lead. And look at what is Rhythms doing in that chase, putting on the pressure with a lot of proximity there. But he slightly falls back and getting ready for that transition as they come up with a big dive going into that second outside zone. Doing a very nice job so far for both of these drivers. Tim putting on a solid lead, while Rhythms is right there in the chase, kind of falling back into that middle section, but as he comes back into that second last zone, not the second last zone, the last zone, as they come across the line, he does a solid job in the chase there. Beautiful work from both of these drivers. Tim doing a solid lead, while Rhythms doing a lovely chase. But can Tim put the same pressure on as what Rhythms did, is the question. As we wait for that semaphore to go green. We will send these boys back down once again. And as it goes green, we are now going back down the main straight with Rhythms now leading in Tim. as they initiate in towards outside zone 1, doing a very solid job so far, keeping it onto that wall. Tim kind of putting on the pressure there, not getting too crazy, making sure he has the time and the space to get that dive. Oh, but Rhythm's just hitting the wall there, and it will potentially fully straighten the wheels, so it could potentially zero his lead as they come around now into that last section of the track. As Tim kind of sits back and realizes what's just happened, he does not want to make any mistakes as it come across the line. So unfortunately, that could potentially be the end of Rhythm's weekend. That is unfortunate, but manages to keep it going, so we'll have to see what they say. But amazing work from both of these drivers. Sometimes the pressure does get to you. As you can see here, we do have one for Tim. We have Rhythms on the left, and it is unanimous victory for Tim. Unfortunately, Rhythms just getting a bit too aggressive into that second outside zone, straightening his wheels and searing his lead. So we will be seeing Tim into the Great 8, while Rhythms fortunately stays in the top 16. And here you go. We do have our we have our Great 8 bracket now built up with Alex Lasmanis to battle Darius Straker, Daniel to battle Kevin, Lucas and Tim to battle each other, and Alexander Jagger versus Gert, doing a sensational job between all of these drivers. But we do have potentially a break coming up while we get everything set up for the Great 8, so we will see you shortly. So I am just finding out we do have yes, so we do have a 5 to 10 minute break. So go and get a snack, go and get a drink, have a chill out, and we will be bringing the action back to you guys very shortly. So we are going to be starting the top 8 very soon. So just bear with us while we get everything sorted and get everyone ready to go. So we are going to be starting the Grade 8 anytime now. Once again, I'm your host, Brandon, and we are in the second round of DKRTR 2024, the Drift King of RTRiga. And here we go. So as you can see, we have all of our drivers just getting themselves ready, getting some warm-up wraps, getting some practice in as they get ready for the Grade 8, which is just about to start now as we get our first battle coming through those tunnels. As you can see there, Alex Lasmanis and Darius Ostraka getting ready to send it down. This is where things start getting serious. So we have Darius chasing in Alex Lasmanis there. This is going to be an exciting battle to say the least, as Alex has put a lot of good performance in last round, as Darius chases now. Getting very close. Look at the proximity there on the initiation. Darius is meaning business, as Alex does a very solid job through those inside clips so far. Transitioning now into that second outside zone. Darius making sure he is right there in that A90 Supra against that E92 BMW, coming around into the center of the track now. Transitioning in for that last half of the track. Darius putting on so much pressure onto Alex Lasmanis there, doing a solid job, rubbing tyres almost. And if this was real life, that car would have been getting flipped upside down just from that contact of the tyres. Very lovely first run. So as you can see now, Darius Ostraka leading in Alex Lasmanis, as now they go through that start chicane that is marked down on the floor, as you can see in red, as Darius fires it in, as Alex Lasmanis is putting it onto the door of Darius Ostraka here as they transition into this inside clip, coming around now into the outside zone. Lovely work so far from Alex, putting on the pressure as he maybe just makes a bit of contact with the wall there, as that E92 has got a bit of length to it as he falls back a tiny bit, but they come through that in a clip. As look at the proximity from Alex Lasmanis here, chasing down Darius Ostraka from Team Riga and across the line. Beautiful work from both of these drivers in this first battle of the top 8. I can just tell these boys are going to make my throat absolutely destroy itself. Amazing work from both these drivers. So we just now await a judge's call. Not an easy battle to start with. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful A90 Supra there. Once again, a massive shout out to all of our sponsors of the series who make this possible for all of us. As you can see, they're scattered across the track and on the bottom right of our screen, flicking through all of the sponsors there. They are what make the series able to be done. And a massive shout out to all of you in the stream watching this. Without you, this wouldn't be worthwhile doing. We do put it all on for a show. Definitely a nerve-wracking moment there for Alex Lasmanis and Darius Ostraka, as there was a very close battle. Putting on a lot of tension, but we do have potentially a result here, so it's left for Alex, right for Darius, who is going to take the first victory of the top 8, and it is going to be a one more time, so there was no depicting moment where they could have split it, but one did go to Alex Lasmanis, so it could have gone. So it wasn't a set decision there. So we'll get them to reset their tyres as Darius goes back through the tunnel to have the world's fastest pit stop. Getting ready for their second battle in the top 8 for an OMT. So we have Alex back in the lead lane, getting ready for Darius to chase him in. And as you can see, he is sat back to get a little jump there as the lights start counting down. The lights go green and we start sending them down the straight with that Hassan Racing E92. But Darius once again putting it on the door of that E92, putting the pressure on. As you can see, he's just giving it a little dance off the handbrake to make sure he does not get too close in proximity where it gets dangerous. As they come round now into that second outside zone, doing a very solid job there as Darius Ostraka comes around, as with Alex really doing a solid lead line. And as you can see here, coming into that last section, but a little bit of a check up there potentially from Alex, which causes Darius to go into him as they come across the line. I'm not too sure what happened there, but we'll have to see what the judges think of that as they come into their second half of the battle, where Darius will be leading in Alex. As you can see here, he's just turning around here, potentially having a spot of feeding some information. So now, as the lights go green once again for the second half of this one more time battle between Darius and Alex, Darius shoots it into that initiation, keeping it nice and deep onto that wall, as Alex is also once again there with him, transitioning through into those inner clips as always. Doing a solid job so far. Alex putting on an absolute beautiful chase line so far as Darius comes around into this last transition now, doing a solid lead as they come around into the last outside zone. But Alex just putting it wheel to wheel. Absolutely stunning performance between these two drivers. So it's all going to come down to that little hiccup going into that last outside zone. Was it down to Alex Lasmanis, or was it Darius getting too aggressive? We will have to see what the judges think of that. Beautiful, beautiful battles so far though. Hope you are all enjoying the performance that these boys are putting on for you. Definitely not an easy battle to be judging, that is for sure. I'd hate to be in the judge's seat for this battle in particular. As we now just await on a decision which is coming through. So left for Alex, right for Darius Ostraka, who is going to be taking this top 8 battle. And it looks like it is going to be going to Alex Lasmanis. So Darius Ostraka just getting a bit too aggressive in that chase, unfortunately taking himself out of the top 8. But we will see Alex Lasmanis in the top 4 later on today, as we get our next battle lined up and ready. Unfortunately, Darius just not quite there with it. Very nice battle between the two though. So even if Darius got taken out, he still put on a beautiful, beautiful performance. But now we have Daniel in that R35 with Kevin in that E92 lead and chase in. As the lights go green, Daniel now leading in with that R35 GTR, the absolute boat of a car. As they flick it in, Kevin kind of being a bit hesitant there, but putting on the pressure once now. Coming through into those inner clips as they transition through. Oh, but Kevin getting a bit too aggressive in that transition, diving a bit too soon as they come around. So he has kind of have to make some work to come back and catch up to with Daniel in the lead. That I can't get my words together. There is too much going on. But as they come around into that last outside zone, they come across the line. What are we doing? What are we feeding the last man with? I don't know. Just pure E95, E85 race fuel. I think that's just he takes a sip of that from a can before every run. Fortunately, sad to see a striker go out this quickly, but his drifting is unpredictable. As we do have Kevin now leading in, Daniel in that R35 with that E92 to lead, but a very close initiation there. Kevin putting on a good show so far. Daniel getting a bit eager, but hopefully he does not make the same mistake as Kevin does through this section here. But a very nice dive, coming in a bit shallow, but keeping it there. Ooh, nice bit of wavering, but we're going in through to this last half of the track as he transition through now, making a very tidy run out of it. As Daniel puts the pressure on Kevin, I can't do English today, has both tried to do a 360 as they come across the line. So lovely work from both of these drivers. Oh, making a bit of contact there, having a bit of a friendly little hash out. So that is definitely going to be an interesting battle for them to review. So we will let the judges do what they do, and then we will see how they decide. Who do we think out of this current top 8 is going to take top spot? That is the question. As Team RTRiga is no longer in the runnings for the top 4. There is a lot of opportunity now for these drivers to get good advantage and take top spot. Spragsy saying, anyone in chat using P1000 pedals? What are P1000 pedals? I'm curious. Please do enlighten me, as I don't think I've ever heard of them. As it does look like we do have a decision which is going to be either between Daniel on the left and Kevin on the right. Who will take this? And it is going to Kevin Schwarz there with saying one more time, so that's an interesting call to say the least, but unfortunately Daniel getting taken out of the top 8. And that will be the end of his weekend. But hopefully we'll see him next round, as we say to all of our competitors. See him back bigger and stronger for the next round. As we now have Gert leading in. Alexander Jagger in that chase. Okay, Sim Magic pedals. I've never owned anything Sim Magic myself, so I can't really say. So now, we'll have Gert leading in as the lights go green, with Alexander in the chase. So far making it lovely and clean. Nice initiation between the two, as Gert does a solid lead line so far, going through those inner clips. And Alexander Jagger making it nice and clean with proximity and smoothness, reeling him in just right where he needs to be. As to come through the centre of the track now, coming into that last transition. Doing a solid bit of work between the two drivers here, as you can see. Alexander Jagger putting a nice bit of tyre rubber onto the paint of that S15. So as we flip the cars around now, we will see Alexander Jagger leading in Gert. As the lights go green. Alexander, big flick initiation there, almost getting caught out by that, but Gert puts the pressure on straight away, finds that pocket and dives into it. as they go through that in a clip now. Look at the look how close got to Alexander there in the chase. But just a bit of contact there with the wall from Alexander Jagger, so unfortunately that could go against him there. And it's not probably the way he wanted to go out, as Gert comes around that last outside zone now, coming across the line. Finishing off the run. Very unfortunate to see. As you can see, Gert here kind of having a little victory spin, essentially, as 1 vote is for Gert there. 2 for Gert, which means he is going into the top 4. Unfortunately, is unanimous decision. Alexander Jagger just making that mistake by tapping the wall. So not probably the way he wanted to go out, but he did a good performance in that regardless. So as you can see there in the chat, confirming that he is drinking E85. I was right. But as you can see here, we have Tim leading in Lucas now. 2 F22 BMWs. Wicked cars, as Tim leads him in with that big duck club. Chasing. As Tim does a nice big initiation there, but Lucas putting on the pressure on Tim there. This is not going to be as easy as the previous battles for him were, as they now transition into that second outside zone, doing a very, very nice job here as Tim puts a lovely lead line in. But look at Lucas making sure he is right there, but big dive there as they transition for the last time, coming across the line here in that outside zone. Lucas putting an absolute belt of a chase line. Beautiful work from both of these. Tim doing a lovely lead. As we have them now flipped around, Lucas in the lead, Tim to chase. F22 versus F22, what you gonna do? Bad boys, bad boys. Oh, but look at the proximity from Tim there straight away from the get-go as they come round into these inner clips. Will he be able to keep it going as they now transition into that second outside zone? But Tim putting on the wheel to wheel. Look at the proximity he's putting on as they transition now into the last section. Coming through that inside clip, all I can see is smoke, but Tim putting on the pressure on Lucas here. It could go to Tim potentially for that chase. Look at that, a phenomenal masterclass chase there from Tim as Lucas puts on a beautiful lead. What a battle. Absolutely stunning. They always making contact there as they park up for their result. Insane chase in there from Tim. He knew he had to put the pressure on, as it is getting too close now towards the top 4. Things are going to get more intense as we go along. Battles are going to get closer. There's going to be a lot more drama. But we are here for it. We are here for the drifting. So now we're just waiting on that result from our judges. Yes, indeed, Tim is cooking. So we do have 1 for Tim from one of our judges, and it is a unanimous choice for Tim Robbers there. Unfortunately, Lucas just not having quite as much impact in his chase. Tim putting a masterclass of a chase on. So that was a pretty clear decision to the judges there. And what a show he's putting on for you guys in the chat. This is crazy. It's only going to get crazier from here as well, as I do think this is the last battle of our top 8. Potentially. Or is this... Oh no, we are in the top 4 now. Jesus, I'm way behind on myself. So we are now officially in the top 4. So it's going to be E92 versus E92. Alex Lesmanis versus Kevin Schwarz. What can Alex do? Has he best of... Do you reckon? He's had a sip of his E85 and now he's going to be firing down that lead as he initiates now into that wide outside zone, keeping it lovely and smooth as we have Kevin doing a nice job in the chase this time compared to his previous runs. He's doing, again, a lot more closer this time, so he's found the confidence as he comes around into that last transition now, as Alex does a solid lead. Kevin's just a tiny bit behind, trying to struggle to put it up to the door, but he's right there. Lovely work from both of these boys. Was it both of these battles? The runs are just getting too good for me to even commentate for. But as you can see now, they are flipped around. And we will have Alex Lasmanis chasing in Kevin. As they flick in with, look at the dive there. Almost lunging a bit too much there from Alex Lasmanis. As they transition now through those inner clips. But look at the dive from Alex there as he puts it onto Kevin Schwartz's door. Putting an absolute belter of a chase line. But a lovely lead so far from Kevin as well. As they come round onto that last outside zone now. And Alex putting on a solid chase. Beautiful work there from both of these boys. And Alex is definitely going to be happy with that. As we now have to await for our judges once again to see who deserves to go in to the next part of the bracket. As I'm pretty sure it will be the final. Whoever wins this goes into the final. As you can see here, Kevin having a great time. Been a lot of fun. He's definitely got to be a lot happier with the performance he's been putting into this battle as we get some rings between these two boys. Look at that. Beautiful showmanship. Having some fun. So enjoy the rings while we wait for our judges. And it looks like we do have a decision. So will it be Alex on the left or will it be right for Kevin? But it does look like it is going to be Alex Lasmanis going into the final with a unanimous decision. So amazing work there. Unfortunately, Kevin not just quite making it, but he will be getting a chance to battle for third. So his weekend is not quite just over yet. So he has got a chance to try and get a podium still. As we do have our last top 4 battle now, which will be Gert versus Tim, S15 versus F22. As we have Gert there leading in. Just waiting on that 7-4. Let Drift Chat is piloting as the lights go green. We send that S15. He's looking very mean. I don't know what I'm trying to wrap, but here we go. Going into outside zone 1, doing a very nice job there from Tim, putting on the pressure onto Gert as they come around into that inner clip now. Transitioning into that second outside zone, doing a solid job between the two. Gert putting a lovely lead line on as Tim puts the pressure on, making sure he is right where he needs to be for the judges to give him a good advantage or a good score there as they come into last zone now, putting wheel to wheel, putting the pressure on. Lovely work there from Tim in the chase, and Gert obviously doing an insane lead. As we flip them around now, remember this is for the chance to get into the final, so whoever gets this will be going into the final, and whoever gets taken out in this one will be going for the battle for third. So there is still an opportunity here for them to get large points as they come down now with Tim to lead. Gert coming into the initiation in the chase, putting on a lovely bit of proximity there between the two as they transition now into that side clip, coming around into that outside zone with a nice dive there, making big angle, making sure he is not too aggressive as they come around into the middle of the track and transition for the final time, coming through that inner clip now into that last outside zone. But just unfortunately, Tim taking himself out and hitting the wall. Unfortunately, that is potentially taking him out, and that might be his chance for the final to go. But remember, he still has a chance to get a podium in the battle for third. Obviously, we'll have to see as he gives a little smooch to Kurt's S15 there. Very unfortunate, just getting a bit too wide. He has done a solid performance though throughout this entire event, so nothing to be unpleased about, I'd say. Tim's done an insane job. Yeah, this definitely isn't NASCAR. Very different. He's definitely going to be kicking himself about that, but remember, he's still got a chance to get third. As we just await on the judge's choice now. Could it have been that Gert hit him? I do not know. I couldn't see, but it looks like we have a choice. So left for Gert, right for Tim. Who is going into the final? And it's Gert. So congratulations to Gert for getting into the final. Tim is going to be doing the battle for third. So we are going to be sending him back out back into the pits for him to get fresh tyres for his battle for third. As you can see on the top of the screen there on our overlay, it is now officially battle for third time. We are in the end game of the second round of DKRTR24 Drift King of RTRiga. I want to see emojis in chat. I want to see all the hype. We are at the main part of the event. We are here for the final results now. This is where things get crazy. So we do have Kevin versus Tim going in to lead. As you can see here, Tim in that F22 leading in Kevin. And here we go, your first. This is the first half of the battle for third, with Tim flicking it into that initiation, keeping it nice and wide as Kevin comes around into that with that E92 towards that pocket as they come around now into that inside clip. Coming around, transitioning into that second outside zone, doing a very nice job in the chase there from Kevin, keeping it nice and smooth as they come around into the center of the track. Tim doing a very nice job in the lead so far as they now do that last transition towards the left half of the track, coming around into that last outside zone, doing a very solid job there from Kevin, keeping it clean and making sure he does not make any mistakes in the chase there. Lovely work between the two. And I can see in the chat everyone's just going mental. Love to see it. Moist absolutely being a menace. But now we have Kevin in the lead and Tim to chase. Will Tim put on the lead? Should I say, will Tim be putting on the chase of a lifetime here as he makes a little bit of a jump there to try and make sure he's there with Kevin from the get-go as they try and initiate now into that first outside zone, making very nice proximity so far as he's coming into that inside clip, not getting too aggressive as he comes now in for that dive. Look at that. Getting right there onto Kevin's door, making sure he is right where he needs to be. Kevin doing a solid job in the lead so far as they now transition for the last time in this battle for third as they come across into that last outside zone. Ooh, a bit of wavering there from Kevin in the lead, but as they come across the line, they finish off in a lovely little bit of style. So I don't think we will be getting the results for this battle just yet. We will be saving that for the end of the stream potentially. I'm not too sure. I'll have to find out for you all. I can't. It's been that long since the first round, and it's, mind you, it's not even been that long, but my memory is terrible. I can't remember how we did it last time. We could potentially be getting a result for third now, as they do some rings and have some fun. But this is the battle for third. So whoever wins this gets third place and gets onto the podium for the second round of DKRTR 2024. There's opportunity for good points here for one of these drivers. So here's now a make or break. And it looks like we are going to be getting the result. So left for Kevin, right for Tim, who is taking third place. And it is Tim Roberts getting third place at the second round of DKRTR 2024. Congratulations to Tim. But now it is on to the main event. I'm seeing a lot of Ocean Gate comments in this YouTube chat. We are now on the main event. We are on the final two drivers of DKRTR round 2. This one's going to be good. This one's going to be very, very good. As you can see here, we have Alex Lasmanes leading in. Gert. I'm not even going to try and... Oh, is it Kubasep? I think it's Kubasep. Obviously, I'm not the best at pronunciations. But they are lined up and ready to go. This is your final of round 2. Let's see how they go as that E92 transitions, and initiates into that first outside zone with Gert right there on the door of that E92 as they come round into this first Manji section in that inside clip. Gert doing a very solid job as he does a nice dive there onto Alex Lasmanes' door as he puts on a solid lead line. Coming around into the middle of the track now, doing a solid job between the both of these. Gert falling a bit behind there on the transition, but as he comes back up, he reels in Alex Lasmanes there, putting it wheel to the door. Solid lead. Solid chase between the two. Now, it is officially the last run, unless we get an OMT, it is the last run of this round. So get the emojis in the chat. I want to see all of the hype in the chat. Let's get this done and let's crown the winner of round 2. As we have the lights go green, this is now officially your final run for today. So we thank you for joining us. But as they initiate into that outside zone 1, Alex Lasmanes putting it to the door, almost wheel to wheel with Gert there, as they now transition into that inner clip, into that second transition, coming around into that second outside zone, doing a solid job doing a really lovely lead line. But Alex Lasmanes putting on the pressure on Gert there as they transition into that last section, coming through that inner clip into the last outside zone. Alex Lasmanes putting it onto that door. Lovely runs between these two. So now we leave it in the hands of our amazing, capable judges to crown the victor of round 2 of DKRTR 2024. Is it going to be Gert or is it going to be Alex? We'll have to see. What a weekend it has been. All of these drivers have put it down on the line and have put solid runs in, both from qualifying all the way up to now. It has been an eventful weekend, and we cannot thank all of you enough for coming around to watch, and to our sponsors for making this possible. We thank you all for joining us, and now it's the moment of truth to see who takes the top spot of this round, as we await on our judges to make that choice. As you can see there, the cars are adorned in the logos of our sponsors, so make sure to go and support them by visiting their websites, checking out what they do, and seeing what services they provide for the community. As we await that choice, which, look at the wing on that car, absolutely gigantic, with powered by an RB30. Definitely not the easiest car, but here we go. Is it left for Alex, right for Gert? This is your final and your winner for the second round of DKRTR is Alex Lasmanes, taking the top spot with Gert taking second place and Tim Roberts in third. Beautiful driving from all of these drivers. Congratulations to our top 3. They have done an insane job, and Alex is going to be absolutely buzzing. That E85 has done him some good today. Beautiful, beautiful work. Congratulations to everyone, and thank you all for coming around to watch the second round of DKRTR 2024 Drift King of RTRiga at Motor Arena Toran. Kindly provided by Drift Corner Grand Prix for us to use this track. And wow, it has been an amazing event. So we thank you all for coming around. We are going to get the bracket, I think, onto the screen to show you our final result of how this weekend has gone. But wow, what an event. This has been very, very good. As you can see there, third place battle was there. So Tim Roberts taking third, Gert taking second, and Alex Lasmanes taking first place. Amazing, amazing work from all of these drivers. So we thank you so much for tuning in and sticking with us. And it has been an amazing event. I've been Brandon, and I've been your host for today. And yeah, we'll see you at round 3, which will be very, very soon.